Welcome to another video coming to you from the Tomb of Illumination. Tomb of Illumination is another word for the earth, the tomb we live in. It's been illuminated. The loaf of bread. The loaf is the magnetic field that's over the flat earth. Okay, so you can imagine the earth is the plate or the breadboard, and the flux is the loaf, all described in the original book of physics. It's called the Bible, yet nobody understands it. If they do, they're not saying anything about it. For instance, the whole Adam and Eve story. No one's picked up on the fact that Adam and Eve is atom and even, the even split of the atom. I mean, what do they think the rib cage story is? Obviously man doesn't have a rib missing, does he? No. So the atom, evenly split. Okay? Evenly split, Adam and Eve. What we need to understand is that you could say there's a north and the south, but it's basically male and female. It all boils down to man and woman, male or female in our physics, because that's creation. It's a dual system. Earth is a duality. There's people out there trying to tell you it's not. They're just lying, and they must be funded by the freaks. Earth has come from the point of singularity, the hyperboloid centre, which is in here, and expressed out to create our realm, which is out here, the dual system. But because we live in their created realm, we have to imitate creation. So then we become a split cell out here. Just like a magnet, because it all boils down to magnetic fields, male and female, north or a south pole. So then we get the tropical gap here, replicating this place of creation back here. So this side will have one too. Okay? So there's the system here. There's your northern hemisphere, there's your tropical gap, and there's the southern hemisphere. Okay? But everybody is on a meridian. That's your existence. Every man is on there, on one of those, north to south. South, north. Okay? And so it starts off as a central hyperboloid, centre, the place of singularity. Singularity. You know, science talks about it. But we've come into the created realm, which is a dual system. And like any magnet, you keep breaking it down. So there's your north to south pole. There's your strong force, weak force. So it's more expanded, isn't it? So it's stretched out. Must be weaker as per ratio, as per cycle ratio. There's the magnetic cycle. Magnetic cycle ratio. Now be watching out for some scientist or Freemason who takes this information and tries to claim or is given a Nobel Prize. The only person on this flippin' earth, I think, was me who has exposed all this stuff, okay? You got a 3:2 ratio, or Fibonacci, or golden ratio, Plato's unequal divided line. They're all similar. Within Cooey, you have a 3:2 ratio. Okay? That's if you can look down on it as a whole, but as the observer, we see it all equal. Okay? And where we see this difference is in the sky, because there's two rotations at night. We see two rotations, the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. We don't see all of them. It depends. If you're in the south, you'll see most of this, and a little bit of the northern one. And there's this gap here. Well, this gap, if you think about it, is not exactly at the equator if you think you live on a spinning ball or whatever. It's not exactly at that centre. Science knows this. It's offset because of this analemma. We're looking at this point here. But this point here is the 6th of September. We're all led to believe the equinox represents this equal division on our earth. Equinox. Equinox. But no, this is back here at the 6th of September, that there. The equinox is past this area, isn't it? It's further back here. It's just dividing it between there and there. The two seasons of the earth, the two solstices. That's where we can tell there's the 2 to 3 ratio. Science can't hide it. You get that idiot Simon Dan who likes to try and hide it. Have you seen him on TikTok? That guy is just exposing how stupid he is. You listen to his answers. He just made up off the top of his head, and his science buddies that want to divert you away from the truth sponsor him to say this absolute garbage. Nothing but rubbish. He's just a big idiot. You just cringe when you see him come up with a silly answer. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, back to creation. The split rib cage. It's the split rib cage. So you got the southern hemisphere, and then we have it, because everybody's on a meridian, it becomes infinite. It's an infinite split that way too. Okay? What we have to understand is Earth expands, is always expanding out from the north to the south. So as it expands, we're in that light, we expand with it. So if we come out of the, we expand out like this. But it's all relative to the observer, so we don't know. We can't tell we've expanded. So over time, the more people, like the Bible it says, go forth and multiply, because there's no point of cut-off. Our realm is infinity. So you can breed as many people as you like. Earth will expand with it. We don't know it's expanding because, like I said, it's relative to the observer. So Earth will be expanding this way. Everything expands out from the centre. So, and obviously if it's expanding this way, it'll expand this way a little bit. So, but it's infinite. And if the Earth gets bigger, we get bigger. And when you think about it, you know it's 10,000 kilometres from the centre Arctic to the equator. But it's always going to be 10,000 kilometres because Earth expands, we expand, so does your ruler expand. So no matter how big the Earth gets, it will still measure the same. But we can't comprehend all this stuff because it's all relative to the observer. We can't see it. So we don't know we're expanding as we go south. That's why they tell you to live on a ball, because if you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you're basically coming back to the same point again if you create a ball. But all they're doing is taking this northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, put them together to create a ball. And it's total garbage because the magnetic field comes around like this. Anybody in the south can realise this, and shoots back around that way. That's the way all the stars will work on this guy's one meridian. That's what he sees. Everybody will see that image. You'll see the stars come out of there around like that, over, back around like that. But only sees half at a time. So he only sees it coming from the east, over his arc of horizon, like that. So that's lateral, but we're seeing it all vertical. So it's going out of his peripheral vision here. So it's that way, if anything. And the way we perceive it, this is why if it's going out of your peripheral vision, this is why you lose the hull first as it goes over your horizon. Hull first, going out of your... So if the boat's going that way, obviously the front of it's disappearing. It's a similar setup to what's happening here on your horizon, your arc of horizon. It's just going out of your visual perspective, but really it's going around here. God didn't create us to see day and night in the one at the same time. See the stars and night here, but look behind you and you see the sunny side of Earth. No. So they've taken, and this guy in here will see his images come around here like this, go like this, or other way around actually, that way, and loop back around like that, and he'll see that half of the stars of the night. He doesn't see two at once. So understanding this theory of relativity relative to the observer. So Earth is like a magnet, becomes an infinite split cell, basically as a north to south meridian, infinite. Life and death is in the infinite cell. It's like a pre-existing infinite cell. But the story of creation has to start somewhere, and that is male and female. A north and a south pole, a weak force and a strong force. But magnetism comes first. The female is the magnetic. Magnetic first. Then you have electromagnetic induction. This is the flow of the magnetic field. Out of the north, up, Cancer, along the ground, through the ground, up over the south. See, when it comes up here is when it's coming out of here, for this southern hemisphere. Excuse me, when it's coming out of the north, that's his cycle. So the field goes there, then comes up here, then comes up to the Capricorn, tropical Capricorn, then through the ground, then back up this way to do it again. All the way around the Earth. It's infinite cycles, all the way around. So, but between the two magnetic fields here, this is the place of avoidance here. They don't cross. So you don't live on a ball. Only dummies like Simon Dan will tell you live on a ball. And that guy, what's his name? Bob, the science guy. What an idiot. He sounds good though. The magnetic field doesn't cross the tropics. It goes through the ground. This is a place of avoidance, just like, because this is a replication of the black hole of creation. Everything avoids the black hole of creation, spins around it. That's what creates life. So, where was I going? This is where we create the magnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. In here. So you could say that's the male. That's the male that comes over into the female. This is already the female. Because the magnetic field comes out of this feminine aspect here. So the female cycle creates the electromagnetic between the north and south pole. Creates electrical, male and female. First is magnetic, then the electromagnetic induction to create electrical, which is the male and female as the one singularity, back to creation again. It's the cycle, you see. It's all about the actual sun, the real sun that's back here at creation on the horizon of the black hole. We just see the image of the sun back here through the electromagnetic induction between the two fields, moving around the gap here. But it's only a focal point in your eyeballs. It's all to do with your eyeballs. And the heat is created between this field. It's not coming from that image. It comes from this field. It's being created. That's radiation. What science calls radiation. It's in there. Okay? So, understanding the Bible is a book of physics. Astrophysics talks about the planets and the alignments and everything. The book is of two stories. Man's second birth, to awaken his son, the son of man, and all about the son of earth, which is physics, because our whole earthly realm is of the light. That's the earthly sun. Now, you can go back and check out some of my astrotheology videos and how they're connected to the earth. There's physics for you, or astrophysics. I'll just read a couple of passages for you. Oh, well, actually, you can go back and read Isaiah. That's a good one. Ezekiel or Isaiah. Isaiah 2:2-4, about the ploughshares. Plowshares, you go look at what a plowshare looks like. Understanding the magnetic field of Earth, the torus field, the toroidal field, the magnetic field of a torus. It's like this. And the plowshare is shaped like this. So he's hinted at that in Isaiah 2:4. Check that out. I just found a couple of passages I wanted to read today. What's this one? And if thou bring an oblation of a meat offering, bacon in the oven. See, this is the metaphorical analogy of the story of earth. I've got the other picture behind here. Let me have a look at it. 1 minute. The bread, basically telling you the story here, the bread, right? And if thou bring an oblation of the meat, as in meeting place, the meeting place between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, this meeting place between here and here, across the tropics, the meeting place. Talked about that a lot in my videos, if you want to check them out. Meat offering, bacon in the oven. It shall be unleavened cakes of mine, of fine flour, mingled with oil. So this is the anointing oil of man, because this alignment's all about the enlightenment of man's second birth, because this is what the Bible's about. Man's second birth and the physics of the earth. You have to understand the physics of the flat earth to understand the whole story of this rebirth and how it all works. That's related to astrophysics. Cakes and fine flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. So you look at this unleavened, it's shrunk down. It's to do with this overlay between the two hemispheres, but then it swells up, becomes leavened. So this passage here is Leviticus chapter 2 verse 4. This is what they're talking about. There's the bread, okay? Eat from the bread. The anointing oil of man is the basically what comes through. It's the Christ ascension. It's to do with the fluid. Once his clostrum's opened. Another thing while I'm here, the Santa story of him coming down the chimney. Now, coming down the chimney is to do with the Milky Way. The Milky Way is the chimney. Because during this alignment, this is what we have. We have, this is south, and let's say this is north. The Milky Way will swing around and line up through here, and it'll line up to the south. You know, there's the south. The Milky Way will come through, and the north will come through, and there'll be an alignment there. There's the Milky Way. That's considered the chimney that Santa Claus comes through, and this is also connected to the man's brain. And in his brain is the two claustrum, the two narrow passageways. So when they open, in comes through his Sancta Claus. Saint Claus. That's the earthly system, the human system. There's two. And the Sancta related to saints on the, it's back on the other one over here where I've drawn the saints in their zodiac, because the zodiac is the foundation of earth. So it's something to think about, the old Santa story. There's plenty more for that, and I've done previous videos on that. One other passage here. What do we got here? A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord, they have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. Blah blah blah. Yeah, we know all that. What have we got here? Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hearteth. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hearteth. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. I don't know why I put that there. I thought that was basically meaning nothing. It's the full moon that you want to understand. What have we got here? And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. That's Isaiah chapter 2:4. That's the physics describing the plowshares and the pruning hooks. It comes around and go the pruning hook, the plowshare. That's the magnetic field of Earth. Go study toroidal fields. What's this one? Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. You know what that's referring to? That is referring to the southern hemisphere. It's upside down, inside out. Because the stars in here, you look down there, are seen up into here. But because this is a curved field, that becomes inside out or upside down. It all comes back to the observer in a parabolic image. That's his rotation. But this guy here is now looking up through this way. He's not looking down through that way. In the northern hemisphere, you're seeing the stars down through that way in the vortex, because they're all in here, right? This is parabolic reflection. This is what he's saying there. The inhabitants thereof are the stars, because most of this is all astrophysics. It's not, unless they specifically say man. Maketh waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth it abroad. Scattereth abroad, all out there. Every man out here gets an image. It's because it's all reflected from the centre. Okay?